Hi Chris, how are you doing today?
Great, but it's absolutely blazing outside today.
Yeah, what can I help you with today?
You know, I'm just working on the exterior, so I gotta just grab some products doing an exterior repaint, so I'm just gonna grab them and get going.
Hey, I got a question for you. Can you paint brick?
You know, you can actually paint brick, better yet to stain brick, but what I'm actually working on today is doing some whitewashing of brick. So I'm making a video on some simple and easy steps to whitewashing your brick. So if you wanna check it out, check out this video. Today we're out here getting ready to whitewash some brick with some Montage recycled, upcycled paint, and I'm getting ready to do that. I'm going to do some prep work before I'm going to be whitewashing the brick only. We're going to be painting the house also. I'm going to mask this off down here so I don't get any paint on my footings. Don't like to paint my footings. Some people do, but I like to keep the paint off the footings, so I'm going to mask these things off with my frog tape, production tape, and then we're gonna get doing the whitewashing process, and I'll show you what that looks like. You take this, not necessarily, I wouldn't say ugly, but just out of date brick, you know, and we're gonna make it look really cool, something more up to date, what you might see on Pinterest or someplace else. You know, stuff is more modern these days. So to get this masking done right here, very important to do the prep work. That way you don't get paint where it's not supposed to be. So I'm gonna be using, I just use frog tape, orange production tape for my production type of stuff. If I get to any place where I don't want it to bleed through, I'm gonna be using frog tape green. I don't want anything bleeding down here underneath. Once I get the masking done right there, then I'm going to put a drop cloth down, mask this off with frog tape here. Now I'm going to be doing whitewashing. So whitewashing a little bit different than lime washing. I'm going to be whitewashing this with paint. I'm going to be cutting my paint 2-to-1 to do my whitewash. So the paint is Montage upcycled paint. We're going to be doing the brick. We're also going to be doing the house. Also, I don't need to worry about getting, you know, any overspray on the siding or the garage doors or anything, because we're going to be painting that after we do the brick itself, and it is paint, so we don't have to worry about getting overspray on these areas right here. But now I'm going to just set a drop cloth down there. Never underestimate the importance of, you know, prep work and protecting surfaces. You know, invest in some drop cloths if you don't have any. It just saves you frustration, saves from getting paint drips where they're not supposed to be. And a drop cloth, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, a drop cloth is going to last you forever. It's a one-time investment that you'll never have to make again. So we're all dropped there, ready to go. Got a few more places to mask before we get ready to do our painting. I'm going to be working up here. The brick comes up near the roof line, so I want to make sure I don't get any overspray on the roof. So I'll mask this off also. The customer has a garage door opener right here that somebody's previously painted. We'll take and repaint that so it's white and looks new again, and I'm going to remove that. Whenever you're doing your prep work, it's always good just to have a tool bag of tools that you're going to need. That way you don't have to keep running back and forth to your work truck or trailer. So I'm just going to remove this garage door opener here. Now, one handy little tip, I like to just put everything back together the way it was, so no parts or pieces will get lost. I'll put the screw back that covered the battery cover. Now, if there's multiple garage door openers, you want to just label it. Also, the screw down here that screws it to the wall, it could fall out, get lost. So I'm just going to take put a piece of frog tape over that, and that's going to secure that screw in there, and I'll set that aside. All right, I got my final set of brick masked off here. I'm going to put a drop cloth down right here. So you want to put a drop cloth down everywhere. We're going to be spraying and back brushing this brick to achieve the effect that we want. I don't want to get any splatter on the rock down here, so you want to get paper and a drop cloth. So you don't want to get white splatter on the walkways, the driveway, or their rocks. So just drop everything. So we're getting ready to do our whitewash out here, and I'm going to be using Montage signature paint right here on the brick to do our whitewash. Now when it comes to the whitewash, you want to use a high quality paint to do the whitewash, and some of it's going to be a little bit of trial and error when it comes to the look you want. The more water you add to your paint, the more translucent the paint is. If you just use straight paint on the brick, it's going to be opaque. It'll be just pure white. I wouldn't suggest using paint on brick, but if I'm going to paint it, I would actually use like a solid color stain or H&C stain, something like that. But when it comes to whitewashing, you're going to water down your paint. I'm going to cut it. You can cut it like 3 parts water, 1 part paint if you want it fairly translucent, less translucent. I'm going to go with 2 parts water, 1 part paint. I don't want very much of the color showing through, just a little bit. I'm going to start it over here. Don't start on the most I would start on the most inconspicuous space on the house. This part of the brick right here is off to the side. You can't really see it. So I'm going to do my test right there. If it's a little bit light, just add some more paint. If it's too opaque, or if it's too light, add more paint. If it's too opaque, add more water. So I'm going to give it a test. Once I get it just like I want it, I'm going to begin the process. What I'm going to be doing is just spraying it, and I'm going to be just brushing it on in a random brush pattern to give it a random look to it. So I've got water right here, clean water. I've strained my paint. Definitely want to strain your paint before you do any spraying. So I've got it roughly about 50%, 2 to 1. So today I'm going to be using a sprayer I haven't used before, just testing something out. It's a little Dyno Power X6. Like to test out new things, when I'm painting, and so we're giving a new sprayer a run here. So I got it the way I like it. I want to cut my pressure back significantly. There you go. This guy. So you can see I'm just kind of daubing it, keeping my brush nice and dry. I want to just spray just a really light amount on it, and I'm kind of keeping a randomness to it when I'm brushing it. Just want to work it down in that grout to definitely get underneath. I'm keeping it pretty dry because I want a little bit of the color showing through it first, and then I might put a little bit more on after it dries. So I'm just working right along here, just spraying, back brushing it. You can see brush is staying pretty dry. I got my pressure really low. I'm using a HEA 311 tip to spray with, and I've got the pressure really low to control overspray. I don't want a lot of overspray, don't want a lot of fallout, so I've got the pressure extremely low. So I'm spraying in a random pattern. I'm also brushing in a random pattern. I don't want anything to look consistent. I mean, brick doesn't look consistent itself, so just spray on just enough that you think, or a little bit less than what you think. So once again, it's always better to put not enough on than too much. It's harder to go the opposite, from too much to less versus less to too much. Just continuing to daub randomly, brush it in the grout lines. I also like to keep the pressure down. You know, super hot day, miserable wearing a respirator, keeping the pressure down. You don't get a lot of overspray in the air either. It's in the hundreds today. This is all dry. I'm just going back and hitting some spots that are light, and then I'm adding another pattern to it by brushing it horizontal brush strokes. Really lightly. I don't want to go over it heavy because it'll get runs and drips. I want to add just another element to the look by adding these vertical brush strokes on here. Want to match the sides too.